I think sometimes that can be around the network you've got around you and the fact that you haven't got quite so much of a network to draw on. So, for example, I've never had a mentor, even now. And certainly when I was growing up, I remember asking my mum and dad where I should go to university, and I remember my mum's in the kitchen saying, "Oh, I don't know." I think there's something around that wider support network that people need, that maybe some people have as part of their bigger family and they're having conversations at dinner table. But for most people, I'm going to say, actually, they're probably not. And so we do need to think about where they're getting that advice about options, careers. For me as a local MP, I had a lot of, like Bell, a lot of estates in my, council, social housing, and part of the challenge is what are the career ladders some people are seeing on those estates where you can be really successful. And that is basically, frankly, at times selling drugs. And, we were in a prison the other day talking to some of the inmates in my team, and these were people who were convicted of drug dealing. They wanted to come out, but actually they were entrepreneurs. They didn't want to go and stack shelves in Co-op when they got out and had done their time.
Drug dealers, but they were actually entrepreneurs and didn't want to stack. Listen, I can't stand this. Honestly, where's this career pathway of success? Where's the ambition to be affluent and put the hard work in, all the foundations? Okay, so if you don't focus on what it takes to get there, if you're kind of oblivious to it, it wasn't all down to her dad, it was down to her as well. So how did she get there? So it's not just throwing these words out there, career pathways and role models and da-da-da. Okay, how are these kids going to get it? If they're not going to get it from the coincidence of chance, how can we make that more likely? Stop making excuses for people who put no effort into anything and end up being drug dealers. You're making excuses for criminals to be criminals, and that kind of normalises it. Now, these are the scum of the earth. They haven't put the effort into it. They're lightweight on effort. So their outcomes should be prison. And that's it, and it's a scourge of society. That's where the focus should be, not making these stupid excuses. And these kids, they should be actively encouraged into work. That should be more or less their only option. Otherwise, what they're going to be layabouts from youth to the rest of their life in and out of prison selling drugs. There's no solution. You're just kind of describing outcomes. It's bullshit. But the worst thing is only describing, excusing these negative outcomes. So what should be fixing it is having a closer eye what's going on in the schools about attendance, about application, and other problems at home, and just being able to come up with ideas about how you can force parents to be more proactive on it. Maybe some kind of parenting classes, or their benefits get hampered because they're not going to feel it any other way. And if it is having an impact on their household, then basically they'll feel it and maybe they'll be more incentivized to do something about it. And once that word gets out, maybe you won't get a cycle of similar people thinking it's easy just to have kids